Let's talk about Juneteenth, guys. Juneteenth, now I did a video, I believe, last year, because last year is when Juneteenth became a federal holiday. So a lot of things like your banks and stuff, they're actually going to be closed. The government is going to be closed for the day. I talked about Juneteenth. And the House, Biden, all them, they actually passed a bill to actually make Juneteenth a federal holiday. And I told you guys in that video that Juneteenth did not end slavery. You guys got to remember the history of the Emancipation Proclamation. It did not end slavery across the United States. The Emancipation Proclamation only ended slavery in states that actually seceded from the United States. Now, the North, the Union, they still had slavery. Even after the Civil War, states still had slavery. But slavery did not end in this country until December 1865 with the passage of the 13th Amendment. Now, the history of Juneteenth actually goes back to Galveston, Texas, because, they didn't have Facebook, Twitter back then during the Civil War. Messages moved pretty slow. So the slaves in Galveston found out on June 19th that they were free, and it became a regional celebration. Now, I grew up in Beaumont, Texas, which is not far from Galveston, and we never, ever celebrated it. Never have. But now that this holiday is now kind of mainstream, I guess you can say, there's all these Juneteenth celebrations out there. Black people getting together, celebrating Juneteenth. A lot of these people don't even know the history of it. A lot of them actually probably believe that it actually ended slavery when it didn't. And by the way, Native Americans still had slaves after the passage of the 13th Amendment. Another story, I digress. Now, Rose yesterday talked about the shootings in Chicago, outside of Chicago, going on at these Juneteenth celebrations. You would think, man, that people will actually go out there and say, hey, let's celebrate the ending of slavery by actually honoring the ancestors that were actually enslaved. But no, they actually want to go out there and act a damn fool and shoot people outside of Chicago. Well, guys, we got another similar story here in San Diego, guys, because out there in San Diego, they're acting a damn fool. Look right here. Liberty Station Juneteenth shooting leaves 1 dead, 1 injured. San Diego police searching for shooter. And newsflash, guys, the victim is black. The shooter is black. Everyone involved is black. This is sad, guys, because Juneteenth is a day that you're supposed to be celebrating the end of slavery, but you go out there and you act a damn fool. But let's read some of this, guys. 1 person is dead and another was injured after a shooting broke out at a Liberty Station park during a Juneteenth celebration Saturday evening, according to San Diego police. The shooter has yet to be found, police said. The shooting was reported at 6:45 p.m. at NTC Park at Cushing Road and Womble Road, where personnel from San Diego Police Department and San Diego Fire Department were seen giving CPR to 1 victim. This is a hell of a way to actually celebrate the quote-unquote end of slavery. Police later confirmed that another gunshot wound victim was injured. He was shot in the leg and was taken to a hospital. His injuries are not considered life-threatening, San Diego Police Lieutenant Steve Shabloski said in a news release Sunday. Both victims were attendees of the celebration. The shooting was an isolated incident related to a physical fight that broke out within the crowd near the end of the event, Shabloski said. Police described the suspect as a black male in their mid-20s wearing dark clothing. Both victims are described as 20-year-old black males, according to Shabloski. SDPD's homicide department is investigating the incident. The department is encouraging anyone with information to contact SDPD. And I'm willing to bet something's telling me that the shooter really didn't care about celebrating Juneteenth. I'm willing to bet that this person did not. Why is it, man, that we have to go out there on a holiday that's supposed to be celebrating black people? We go out there and we kill each other. Why? Why are we going out there acting a damn fool? I've yet to figure that out, man. And I do believe that most of these people at this Juneteenth celebration don't even know the history of Juneteenth. Let's be real. Honestly, I got to tell you the truth. When it came to Juneteenth when I was a kid, didn't really know much about it. Why? Because nobody celebrated it. It was a regional thing out there in Galveston, and that was pretty much it. But now I've become more educated on the whole thing. But I think a lot of people don't understand the history of it. People see a holiday, they go out there and hey, you want to celebrate? Hey, that's perfectly okay. But why go out there and commit acts of violence? It doesn't make any sense, guys. We need to stop this. We need to stop killing each other. You know, it makes us look like we're a bunch of mongrels or something. It puts black people in a very, very bad light. Why would you actually go out there and fight and then shoot somebody? Why is the people out there in Chicago, outside Chicago, at a Juneteenth celebration, shooting people? I mean, guys, Juneteenth is today. These celebrations happened days ago. It was a Juneteenth celebration. And how many people have been dead? Nobody should die celebrating Juneteenth. Nobody. But we need to fix this cultural mindset out there, man. This country, man, loves to celebrate criminals. I believe that the criminal mindset out there, you know, some guys, we don't actually go out there and celebrate any law-abiding black man. Like when it comes to the mainstream media, they're gonna celebrate your Jordan Neelys. They're gonna go out there and celebrate your George Floyds. They're going to celebrate criminals. But when it comes to stand-up black men, like Tim Scott, for example, Ben Carson, the media goes out there and attacks them, you know, because they're not criminals. They don't consider a Ben Carson or a Tim Scott to be black. When Tim Scott goes out there and says, hey, stop with the victim mentality, man. You can actually do it. If you apply yourself, they want to call him a sellout. This is the mindset that has integrated the minds of black people, and it needs to stop. Stop with this victim mentality. Stop celebrating these criminals out there. Be a Ben Carson. Be a Tim Scott. Do not be a George Floyd. How many black people out there that were actually protesting during George Floyd, how many of those people actually told the little kids, because they did have little kids in these protests and riots too. How many of them actually said, hey, don't be like George Floyd? I wanted to bet that none of them did. None of them did, guys. And it's a shame that none of them did. Because I don't know what it is, man. When it comes to like a Tim Scott or Ben Carson, you know, they see an R next to their name, and then they're considered sellouts in the black community. Instead of actually saying, wait a minute, hold on. Tim Scott made it. Also Ben Carson. How can I actually do that myself? That's the kind of questions we should actually be asking. How can we make it because they made it? And some of these guys, man, they didn't come for much. They didn't. But the victim mentality, man, that's a problem out there. And so therefore, you have people go out there, that fools out there in public, even on a holiday when you're supposed to be celebrating Juneteenth. It's sad, guys. It's really, really sad. But this is the mindset that has infiltrated black people here. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.